What's going on, Jerome's? Week 2 of the 2022 NFL regular season only has 2 games left in it. Two. But the bulk of the games are all said and done. And we have 10 things that we learned about week 2 and the NFL so far, pending on Tennessee Titans playing at the Buffalo Bills, as well as your Minnesota Fighting Vikings up there against Philly. Bring it on, man. Number 10. Kyler is getting hopes up again. So Kyler, he got the big time money, he got the clause, he got to study, all that stuff. Maybe his Call of Duty experience points are going down, but man, so the Cardinals trailed 20-0 at halftime. They're down 23-7 in the fourth quarter. They come back and win it in overtime. Baby, Kyler Murray getting it done. Him running 85 yards for a 2-point conversion. He just got that dog in him. And I know the whole thing is like, well, Kyler needs to study and become a better quarterback. The things that Kyler does, you can't learn by watching film. You just can't. So he's just a dynamic athlete back there, just doing whatever it takes to get something done. And also, he gets Nuke Hopkins back in a couple of games, just in time for the Vikings, by the way. Fantastic. But the Cardinals have done this before. Whether it's Kyler, whether it's Cliff Kingsbury, just like getting the hopes up early in the season, and then I don't know what it is. Maybe teams catch up. Who really knows? But I'm not ready to buy in. I feel like the Cardinals and Kyler are like fake fall here in Minnesota, where it's like, the air is crisp, and you got pumpkin spice everything, and you're going to apple orchards and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's 85 and humid for a week. Nah, I ain't buying in. I ain't buying in, man. Next up, thing number 9 that we learned week 2 of the NFL season so far. Jimmy G is still Jimmy G. So it's unfortunate. Our guy Trey Lance, horrific broken ankle, surgery, going to end his season. Jimmy Garoppolo came in early in that game, and he's still Jimmy Garoppolo, where he played a very efficient game, 13-21, 154, had a touchdown, 0 interceptions. He's not a guy that's going to move the needle stylistically or the noodle. Yeah, neither one, man. But they got it done at home against the Seattle team, which frankly, they were overhyped. I think they had a big-time emotional win against Russell Wilson, and also the Broncos screwed things up late in that game, so they're basically just handed that W. Seattle's not going to be good. I think they'll be in contention for a top 5 pick, if not the number 1 overall pick. I'm not buying into Geno Smith. So, the Niners were able to do some things, even without Elijah Mitchell. They were able to get things done with, my name is Jeff. Wilson, as well as Debo had himself a nice all-around game. Plus the defense showed up. So, but Jimmy G, they went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G a handful of years ago, lost to the Chiefs. But I don't think this changes much, because the ceiling with Trey Lance is obviously there, but there was a big-time floor as well. Jimmy G, I mean, not big upside, but his floor is pretty high. So we'll go from there. Next up, thing number 8 that we learned so far. The Jaguars have the Colts number, man. Colts, we got your number. I'm going to make you mine. 8 wins at home in a row against Indianapolis. And the Jaguars have had some horrific teams in those intervening years. It doesn't matter if it was Andrew Luck or if it was Curtis Painter. No, it wasn't Curtis Painter. Or Jabroni Brisket or Phillip Rivers or Carson Wentz or Matt Ryan. Don't care. Don't care, man. But getting blank like that, I mean, Jim Irsay is going to fire everyone. Like, Jim Irsay threw Carson Wentz out of the bus last year. Frank Reich is probably going to be all up in there as well. Matt Eberflus left town, probably just ahead of the posse. So, I mean, there could be some changes coming to Indy where, I mean, Indy, they tied at Houston. And then they lost on the road to the Jaguars. That's not a good way to start off your divisional schedule. But, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, man, he's looking good. Looked efficient against a very good Colts defense. Yes, they didn't have their star linebacker, but whatever. But Christian Kirk as well, earning that money, man. 6 catches for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns, and my fantasy team thanks you. So they're getting after it down in Jacksonville. I think that they've had a ton of draft picks, so they've amassed a decent amount of talent as well. They spent lavishly in free agency while Lawrence is on his rookie deal. Maybe Jacksonville could have something cooking, because I don't see the Colts really contending. I don't see the Texans not quite ready, and the Titans are the Titans. 7. Brady handed a game. So the Buccaneers won in New Orleans 20-10. The first win by the Bucs against the Saints in the Tom Brady Tampa Bay era. And this was a very near-run thing. This was a close game until late in the game, where all of a sudden one drive, there was 2 FUBAR penalties. One was illegal targeting, helmet to helmet on Cameron Brate, which was nonsense. Instead of a 4th down, it became a 1st down and 15 yards. And then defensive holding, which was nonsense. And then Tom Brady. Well, by the way, so the Mike Evans as well as Lattimore fight, only Evans should have been ejected. I mean, what did Lattimore really do? that warranted an ejection. I mean, Mike Evans coming off the sideline and just spearing Lattimore like that. Yes, he should have gone, but what Lattimore do? So you take away one of the best cornerbacks in the game, and then all of a sudden, Perriman's catching touchdowns. Fantastic. And then that broke the game open, and then Jameis was Jameis. Not that I'm bitter. It's perfectly fine that the Saints have officiating go against them for the next 1,000 years. I do not care in the slightest, but I bet on this game. That's what I get for betting on the Saints. Maybe that's just karmic justice. Next up, numbers. But, yeah, magically. So, Brady, they had a dinged up Mike Evans. They didn't have Godwin. They didn't have Julio Jones. They didn't have Kyle Rudolph, and then they still won. Fantastic. 6. The Lions are not low energy anymore. So our nickname for Detroit has been the low energy Detroit Lions, but you certainly can't say that with Dan Campbell. 36-27 win over the Commies, even though Carson Wentz is trying to lead a comeback, man. But it's 3 straight 35-point games for Detroit. They put up a number of points in the loss week 1 against Philly. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, we said it all off season. We were calling him the second best wide receiver in the NFC North, even though respect to Adam Thielen. And people were calling us crazy. No, the pride of USC, can get it done, man. I think that he is an absolute stud in this league. He's making Jared Goff actually look good and competent. So they're putting up points. The defense is going to have to get shored up, but frankly, they do have one of the better young offensive lines in the game, even without Frank Ragnow at this moment in time. Next up, number 5. The Broncos are effed. So it's weird to say that you're effed after you win your home opener, but 16-9, damn good time. No, it wasn't, against the Texans, where the Texans had issues all over the place, but they still had a chance to tie it up late in the game. And Russell Wilson and the Broncos, they got booed when they took the field, man. Like, how did all those good vibrations just go out because of that Monday night game? It's crazy. And Russ, he completed less than 50% of his passes. You put up 16 points at home, against the Texans defense. Plus, they're still in the toughest division in the NFL. So I just don't see it. I just don't really see it working out. Maybe Russ was past his expiration date. Who knows? But the Broncos, they have a lot of talent. Is Nathaniel Hackett really an inspiring dude who's going to rally the troops? I don't know, man. I just don't know. Next up, number 4 thing that we learned. Jets might be legit very soon. Win 31-30 at Cleveland. Rob Salah, he kept the receipts, man. And this is a really bad beat for Kevin Stefanski and company, because the Jets, late in the game, under 2 minutes, the Jets were out of timeouts, and Nick Chubb ran in a touchdown, I think it was from 12 yards. If he'd have just went down in bounds, running clock, the Browns could have run out the clock, and that comes down to coaching. That's when it was 31-17. And 24-17, and then 23-17, nailed it. Either way, they scored a touchdown. They could have won if they run out the clock, and then the Jets improbably march down, get it done. Garrett Wilson is an absolute stub. Love me some G-Dub. He's going to be a star. Zach Wilson gets back week 4, maybe week 5, but Joe Flacco, no Sacco for Flacco. He's backo, baby. That's right, man. That's right. It's fun to see these young teams really rising up. Also great to see the Giants doing some good things. They would have made this list because I love and respect Brian Daboll, but I don't know. Next up, number 3 thing that we learned, Bengals are in trouble. So Super Bowl hangover is legit. Speaking of the Rams, so they laid an egg against the Bills opening Thursday night. They barely held on against the Falcons, who tried to anti-Falcon. They tried to make a huge comeback from 28-3 down, which is amazing. But the Bengals 0-2. Bengals might be in a little bit of trouble. So they lost at Dallas, where they're 7-point favorites, 20-17. Cooper Rush getting it done. And Jumpin' Joe Burrow, he can't do it himself. Like, too many times, they're just looking at him. He's like, hey, just go do some Superman stuff with Jamar and Higgins and Boyd and Joe Mixon. But they can't. They can't do it. Where Burrow got sacked 6 times again. The offensive line, they sunk a lot of money into it. It's still trash. And so you lost week 1 in overtime against a bad Steelers team. And then you lost to the Cowboys with no Dak. And also, I mean, the AFC North, I mean, the Ravens, even though they yeah, we'll get to the Ravens here in a sec. They're still going to be tough. There's not going to be any gimmies in that division, even though the Steelers are having a down year, and you already lost to them once. So it's going to be tough slaying. It's going to be a tough road to hoe. Plus, of course, you got the Bills, you got the Chiefs, you got all the juggernauts in that AFC. So, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Cincy, and it sucks because I really love me some Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Next up, thing number 2 that we learned week 2 NFL season. Tua silencing all the haters and all the losers. Woo! Love to see it, man. So coming back from behind, winning 42-38 at Baltimore. Tua with six freaking touchdowns, 28 points in the final quarter, getting it done on the road, hostile territory. Oh, by the way, if you're Lamar and you're just looking at the Ravens defense coordinator, you're like, what? Also, pay Lamar all the money. He had 300 yards passing. He had 100 yards on the ground. He was the Ravens offense yet again. Oh, also Rashad Bateman, breakout game. Love to see it. But Tyreek Hill, when he didn't have cramps, and Jalen Waddle just getting things done. Mike Gesicki with the worst gritty you've ever seen. But Tua, man, I have my concerns about Tua because I'm not a arm strength snob, but there's a minimum threshold that you need, and he's right there at that minimum. But he's got that dog in him. He's got hot. He got after him, man. And the Dolphins, I mean, the Bills are obviously going to be the cream of that division, and the Jets are up and coming, but I don't think they're ready for prime time. The Patriots, still not sold on the Patriots, but the Dolphins, I mean, they could make a nice little run. They could push for the playoffs. They could do all that stuff in the first year of Mike McDaniel. Lastly, thing number one that we learned, Packers are still trash. Got him. Congrats on handling the Bears at home on Sunday Night Football. Great. Good job. Where I'm not buying the offense. The defense is still getting gashed. And also, hey, congratulations for paying $50 million for your quarterback to just hand off. Like, they did the pass chart for Rodgers. Everything is within 10 yards. Go ahead. We're just going to run the ball. We're going to have some screens. Romeo Doubs is just going to bail us out of 2nd and 28. By turning up a screen, and Rodgers gets credit for all those yards. Congratulations. And now it's congratulations. Good job. Hey, now we got Tampa Bay where they're actually pissed. Like, Tom Brady's like, hey, the officials gave me that win. Guess what? We're going to bring the bang thing against Green Bay. So it's okay. They're not out of the woods. But I would have preferred the Bears start out 2-0, mainly because I know that the Bears are going to be trash, but it's okay. Like, hey, we want this fight to be quasi-fair because even though the Vikings are going to clinch the division early, let's have it be Week 14 as opposed to Week 10. Who knew? But that's it. That's 10 things that we learned from Week 2 of the NFL schedule. So far, with 2 games to go, you got the Titans playing at the Buffalo Bills. Of course, your Minnesota Vikings playing at the Eagles this evening. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.